Thank you, Tom. I want to thank everyone for being here, and I know that you probably have heard a lot of political speeches, so I'm hoping you'll give me a moment to say a few things. There are some people that I've met for the first time, and so I want to make sure I'm able to tell people why I'm running for Congress, why it's so important, why this election is so critical to our future and to the future of our children and all the people that we come in touch with each and every day. My name's John Stephen. I'm running for Congress, and I'm running to bring New Hampshire values to Washington. That's what it's about. It's that simple. It's all about the values that I grew up to learn and to love and to respect. The values that my dad, Bobby Stephen, who's here, and my mom, Shirley, taught me, and my brothers, Chuck, and my other brother, Rob, who isn't here. He's a judge, so he can't be here. He would be otherwise. Those are the values that I respect. Low taxes, limited government, less spending, and more freedom. Those are the values that Washington needs now more than at any time in our history. And we have people in Washington that are more concerned about special interests, about earmarks, about deficit budgets, about making sure we continue to give everyone what they want, not being able to say no. As commissioner, I said no many times, and yet you do it with respect, with honor, and with dignity. But you realize it's the taxpayer that matters. You realize they're the ones that make government work, and they're the ones that we need to bring value back to. And that's not happening in Washington. It's not happening because we have elected people that go and represent their own interests and don't represent the interests of the New Hampshire people. And when I say New Hampshire values, I mean that. Those are the core values. Not Republican, Democrat, or Independent. They are core New Hampshire values. And when I took over at the Department of Health and Human Services, took over an agency with 3,500 employees, and I brought the employees together and I said, here are our core values. We're going to help people in need, and we're going to meet our statutory responsibility, but we're also going to bring value back to the taxpayer while we're doing that. You'd be amazed what a culture change. Because the workers, the social workers mean so much to people, and they're doing their job, but yet the taxpayer matters. And so when we started doing that, we started thinking differently. We started becoming more efficient. By 4 years and through my term, I was able to return $143 million to the taxpayers, while at the same time helping children, those with disabilities, and making sure we took care of seniors, keeping them in their homes as long as possible. Look at the economy right now. There are two primary reasons for why we're seeing the economy right now in the situation it's in. And talking to Tom and hearing about his business, talking to people throughout the district. Mark Poirier I was on the phone with earlier, and Mark was telling me about his manufacturing business. They want to grow. They want to innovate. They want to make sure they're able to hire more people. But they're not going to do that if we continue to spend money the way we're spending. If we continue to have taxation policy that they're talking about now, 2010, the mother of all tax increases. At a time when we need to start getting our economy back in order, you'd think the people in Washington would start talking about long-term sustainable tax cuts that business can see for the long term and innovate. You'd think they talk about lowering the capital gains tax now to let people invest and grow this economy. We talk about health care. We have to make sure health care is affordable. And I know this issue as well as anyone. Being the former Commissioner of Health and Human Services, I ran the largest government health care program in the state of New Hampshire, Medicaid, for the last 4 years. I will be the first in Washington and here today to tell you the government should not be running health care. They should get out of the business. The private-based economy, the private manufacturing-based economy, the private entrepreneurs, the private innovators are the ones that make this country grow and make this country where it is today. Competition, consumer choice. Getting the consumer involved in healthcare is the way to go. And healthcare can be affordable if we can compete, if we can allow for competition. We can't even allow for competition because of the regulation in Washington. It's the regulatory environment in Washington that is creating this discussion about national health care. But nobody wants to tackle the regulatory environment. Everybody wants to tell you the easy way out. Let's just cover everyone, and who's going to pay for it? Who is going to pay for it, and who is going to suffer? But we can take care of people in need. We continue to do that. But we can make healthcare affordable by bringing competition, consumer empowerment, and individual choice. How often do you hear companies